Well, thank you everybody for coming today. Today we are doing a rally for ratepayer relief. If you, like me, some point in this winter, you opened your utility bill and you were shocked. You were shocked to see the huge increase that was on your utility bill. So shocked that we were actually putting down in writing some of the high bills that we experienced during this last year. So if you're here and you haven't had a chance to put your name down and the amount that you saw in one of those winter bills, make sure you put it there. We're here today because we know that the legislature is paying attention. In fact, this high utility bill problem warranted its own joint select committee. We have a couple of legislators here, and we really appreciate that they're here today showing their solidarity and their support, so I just want to give a round of applause for all of them who are here. This committee brought in some of the top experts in our state and around the country to talk about why do we have this huge skyrocket in utility bills. And the answer was pretty clear. It's gas. So gas is really fueling the high costs that we are all experiencing at our kitchen table, in our small businesses, in our churches. This gas is fueling this rise in our utility bills. A couple of data points that stood out to me. The price of gas shot up by 40%. This is a volatile fuel and an expensive fuel. This is not something that we should be relying on, and certainly not something we should be doing more to invest in and expand and deepen our reliance on it. If you're an XL customer between November and January, they estimate that 80% of the cost, 80% of the price spike was because of gas. So we clearly know what we need to do. We need to reduce our reliance on gas. We have a lot of different people here right now who can share their stories and tell you how this is impacting us. This is impacting us in our homes. This is impacting us in our businesses. This is impacting us where we go to pray and in places of worship. This is impacting us on our farms and in the agricultural community. This is impacting us all over the place. And it's time for action. Now that we've heard from the experts, now that this committee has taken in the information, it's time to take action. And we're excited to hear what some of the potential next steps will be there as well. So I asked the group here, why are we here?
High bills!
Let me ask one more time. Why are we here?
High bills!
One more time. Why are we here?
High bills!
What do we want?
Action!
What do we want?
Action!
What do we want?
Action!
Should we be investing more in gas?
No!
Is gas the solution?
No!
Good afternoon, and thank you for your investment and interest in this topic. I am Pastor Topaz McBride. I am here today representing the Aurora NAACP as the committee chair for environmental justice. I am also the social justice vice president for the Ministerial Alliance, the Greater Denver Ministerial Alliance, and I am the community relations liaison for Restoration Christian Fellowship. And I am a mother. And so I have a couple of concerns that I want to share that reflect each one of these areas. Number one, with the Greater Denver Ministerial Alliance, I am representing the fact that there are many churches and other non-profit organizations out there that are in critical positions because they cannot afford the high bills from Xcel Energy. They're out of control. Restoration Christian Fellowship, as some of you may know, is a place for unhoused residents in the Aurora area. We have a safe parking initiative, and we also have 60 pallet homes on our property. The last utility bill that we received was $10,000. $10,000. Last year, the highest bill was $2,500. So we went from $2,500 to $10,000 for utilities. I, as a mother, have a son, 23 years old, who is a first-time home buyer. He bought his home at the end of February. He closed. In this time, to be able to afford to purchase a new home as a young person is a blessing and really, really a difficult accomplishment. But the fact that he accomplished that, but now being able to afford the utilities that go with maintaining his home is outrageous. Please consider that that we have to live. We need a quality of life at every level, as nonprofits, as residents, as businesses. We need to get these bills down.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us. I'm Mackenzie Roebuck-Walsh, representing the Mountain Mamas. We're an organization of mothers and parents who really feel that it's important for our children to grow up in a world where they can experience a clean environment. Of course, high energy bills also impact us all as parents, as Topaz was saying. For my family, my husband came to me in December as we were doing our Christmas planning and said, "I think I forgot to pay last month's electric bill." And I said, "Really? You never forget?" No, he didn't forget. It just doubled in 1 month to $560 for a single family home. This caused us to need to rethink some of our Christmas plans. We're the fortunate who could rethink a simple thing like Christmas, but so many families were impacted beyond that. Not what toys am I going to buy this winter, but what food am I going to buy? These utility bills have real impacts on our family, and the fact that they're carried on the back of gas, a resource that also has a negative impact on our environment, reverberates for all of us. So we do ask that we act to lower these bills and to lean in on renewable energy sources.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris DeGree Kennedy. I'm a state representative from Lakewood, and I'm proud to be here as the vice chair of the Special Select Committee on Rising Utility Rates this year, along with my colleague, Representative Matt Martinez, who has also served on the committee with me this year. I have heard loud and clear a call for action, and I'm here to tell you that action is going to be coming. I want to start by saying I just want to recognize the amazing work that Energy Outreach Colorado has been doing for many years in Colorado. I'm really proud to have partnered with them on a piece of legislation a few years ago to substantially increase the dollars available for consumer assistance programs. And the work that we're going to be doing with them continues in the years ahead. But what we're talking about today is all about what we're doing to bend the cost curve over time. How are we going to make sure that we are not continuing to incentivize the build out of unnecessary gas infrastructure in Colorado? So we're hoping to introduce a piece of legislation next week that is going to do a few big things. First of all, it's going to be taking away some of those profit motives to be building out gas infrastructure that we do not need in Colorado. I may have to consult my notes if I forget what I was saying here. Second of all, one of the things we saw last fall is when the commodity markets fluctuated and we saw these high gas prices, the utilities just passed those all through to consumers. They had no incentive whatsoever to look for more affordable or greener alternatives to just passing through that natural gas cost. We're going to make sure that the shareholders have some skin in the game in those commodity market fluctuations, so it's not all borne by the ratepayers. And the third big thing we're going to be doing this session is we're going to be making sure that the cost recovery that the utilities get for things like advertising, lobbying, and the legal expenses they incur for the purpose of fighting for higher rates are not all borne by the ratepayers. So a lot of work is going to happen. We're getting towards the end of the session, and it's going to be a pretty heavy lift for just a few weeks to go, but we've got a lot of people that are really committed to the cause. I'm really excited to be working with Representative Martinez on this, who, please help me welcome him.
Thank you, everybody. So Matt Martinez, I represent House District 62, which is all the southern end of the state, so the San Luis Valley, Huérfano, and Pueblo. So the reason why I wanted to be on this committee is to bring that rural voice and that rural perspective in there as well, too. Because just because we're in rural Colorado doesn't mean that we're not facing the same issues that you all are here in Denver. So we've still been facing the same issues with high utility rates and still trying to figure out how we can make ends meet. So I will echo what Speaker Pro Tem Kennedy had said, is that, we've heard the message, we need to address this. This isn't a situation that needs to be, down the pipeline. This needs to be addressed now. And so, we're hoping to bring up good legislation to being able to make sure that this is addressed and making sure the people of Colorado are taken care of.
Hi, everyone. My name is Colin McIntosh. I'm founder and CEO of a sustainable bedding brand here in Denver called Sheets and Giggles. If you haven't heard of us, we sell bed sheets. It's pretty straightforward. And I actually founded Sheets and Giggles 5 years ago to create sustainable options in a marketplace that had only old, out of date, terrible for the environment options like polyester, which is ironically made from fossil fuels. Over the last couple years, the rising cost of fossil fuels has impacted every facet of my margin structure, including production costs, fulfillment costs, freight costs, storage costs, and as everyone has learned over the last couple years, those costs also get passed on to the consumer. If the cost of production increases by 50%, we have to raise prices, and that goes for every business across the economy, especially ones that are more heavily dependent on utility bills. So I would ask you all for action and investing in new sources of energy to replace those of the past.
Well, thank you very much for coming. And reminders, again, we have Energy Outreach Colorado here if you want to check in with them. I want to thank all the other groups that put